Bum, bum, ba-da-da, bum, bum. Bring. Yeah, less than enthusiastic Bindi on a Tuesday morning. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. And the Dodgers just can't stand success, apparently. They lose game one of the Freeway Series 7-4 to the Angels in a game that probably wasn't really even that close. We will dive into that and plenty more. But first, I want to give a shout out to the folks at Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. Gentlemen, last night, Greg, not great.
Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
That was another frustrating. That game belonged on July 18th. It just felt like a game that we have seen so many times over this last month prior to the last week and a half, where we're like, okay, you can see the changes. They fell back into old habits, and it started right from the very beginning, Marcus. They had it. I'm not blaming the umps because they lost 7-0. But the umps, it changed everything in that first inning, to where Yoshinobu Yamamoto was walking guys that on pitches that were not actually walks. And it was happening both ways. It was happening to Soriano as well, but that completely threw off a lot of different things. And then from there, it just spiraled downhill and looked like an uninspired team that just had no fight in them, swinging at pitches way outside of the strike zone and just not with zero patience. That was a frustrating loss of a team that looked like they did in the middle of July.
Yeah, I mean, just the offense being non-existent for the better part of the ball game. I mean, we were in the chat yesterday, Parker, and Greg put in a tweet from Mike DiGiovanna who said,
God.
Jose Soriano is terrible in fourth innings, right? Like 23 fourth innings, he's given up 23 runs, an ERA of 9. The Dodgers, I think they got a single, right? I think Will Smith had a base hit with 2 outs, and then that was kind of it. I have no explanation. Maybe you have an explanation for why the Dodger offense just can't seem to sustain anything.
Nope, don't. No explanation. I mean, you texted it, and other people have put this on socials. The Dodgers at times are your cure for the 2025 pitching woes. If you're a starting pitcher who has issues, the Dodgers seem to play down to your level at times, and I think that's the only answer. I fully expected something a little bit different, some fire under the bellies in this series based off of what happened in LA. But at the same time, I mean, listen, it's a 7 games or 6 games under 500 team, and they played down to their level, and I think that's just the bottom line.
I see the comment in the chat. Let's see, where was it? About Dave Roberts punting too soon. Were you surprised, Greg, that Roberts kind of threw up the white flag when he did last night?
I mean, 7-0 in the 6th inning, and I mean, I get it. I mean, they were kind of trying to come back at one point, but for the most part, I get it. You're going to go – Alexis Diaz is going to come up. They're going to use pitchers that are not high-leverage pitchers in that point, actually saving your bullpen. So, yeah, get Dalton rushing a little bit of time at first base. What I thought was interesting was, I mean, I get it, but Mookie Betts went to right field towards the end, and Teo was on the bench. There must be something actually wrong with Teo that he was not – because he could have pinch hit for Alex Call in the bottom of the 9th. He didn't. And he didn't go into the outfield. Mookie Betts went into the outfield. So something has to be something like they're giving him as much time as possible, because that was odd. I don't know. The punt, like, I don't want them to ever punt games, but if you're gonna punt a game where you're just swinging wildly at everything and not really getting a hold of anything, a 7-0 game seems like the one to punt.
I guess so. That was when I saw Dalton Rushing come in to play first base. That's when I was like, okay, that sort of gives me permission to focus on other things. And
right.
I kind of turned the game off, and then I checked. I'm getting texts from you guys, and I checked the score, and I was like, oh, it's 7-1. Oh, now it's 7-4. But at that point, I'm like, well, I've turned it off, and they're scoring. Superstition won't allow me to turn the game back on. So I sort of tapped out for the rest of the night, and it turns out didn't really miss.
Yeah,
much of it.
at that same point, I started playing a game on my phone with it, and then like they started coming back. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep playing this game on my phone while it's working right now. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. Again, just a frustrating game because I felt like Parker, they had that momentum after the first two games of the Blue Jays series, right? They go out, they put up some good numbers with 9-1, 5-1 the first two games of the series, and it felt like they had some momentum. And then Sunday happened where they leave 16 guys on base. And then last night, yeah. Here's the thing: the lead is one game in the division. I'm not panicked. I'm just upset, right? I feel like that's kind of the mood right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parker, amongst the fan base, it's frustration, it's upset, it's not fear, it's not panic, it's just disappointment.
I'm not mad. I'm just
mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
You know,
You're such a father.
yeah, Marcus, that was good. We're gonna give them like a compliment sandwich as well. They're doing this right, but then they're messing up here, but then they're also doing this right. It's tough to watch. I mean, this is the first time since I think 2019 the Angels won the season series against the Dodgers. This has nothing to do with the Angels, and I think that is what's upsetting about it, is that they're just beating themselves constantly over and over, not getting timely hits. You'll get men on base and then not. I think what they have, the bases loaded at some point, at least first and third a couple times, and it was just like, you get a double play, you get a pop up. And it's not the typical Dodgers that you're used to seeing, at least in the playoffs. But what's funny is, I mean, they're building these habits, and it's August 12th right now. This is not a good time to be building and compiling on those habits, Greg. I think that this needs to be turned around quickly. I know that Muncy was starting to show signs, but I'm not panicking. I'm just, it's kind of boiling over. It's upsetting to watch.
I mean, they have been playing well. Yesterday was, like we said at the very beginning, it was a typical game that was played in the middle of July, and that's what is the most disappointing and frustrating about it. But they were not in that game at any point really yesterday. Even when they tried to come back late, they were never really into it. Alex Freeland had a chance with the bases loaded and one out, and he hit a ball to the pitcher, who then gets him a double play, a 1-2-3 double play, which does not happen very often at all. And you got a full on 1-2-3 double play, which is frustrating. The bottom of the lineup is looking bad yet once again, because you're using guys like Alex Freeland, who has not been good for quite some time. He's not getting bad on ball. He's not. I don't know when the last time he had a hit was. And then Alex Call, I know he's brand new, but hasn't done much either. There's just a lot of I feel like I'm looking at the Kevin Biggio team from last year.
Oh no, I dare say, even as frustrating as Call or Freeland have been, I would rather have them than Kevin Biggio back.
Sure, but that's the type of team I feel like I'm watching when I get to the bottom. I have dudes that are not going to make a difference when it comes to the postseason. It is one game, but at the same time, they just looked off and terrible yesterday. That was a bad throwaway game because it was just horrendous. Hopefully, it gets fixed tonight. I'm a little bit more concerned, not even really concerned, but Yamamoto was kind of just it was tough yesterday. There was a lot of walks, and I get the whole squeezing of the strike zone, but he was still throwing a lot of balls. He was getting deep into 3-2 counts. He walked 4 dudes. He gave up big hits. Though that's just not the very first pitch of the game. He gave up a home run to Zach Neto. And by the way, look at it. We intentionally walked Zach Neto. That's where we're at in this game.
I did think about this last night, though, because Yamamoto is, he's had obviously a lot of really great starts. I mean, the way he started the season was phenomenal. He's had some real bad blow-up games in there, too, though, along the way. Goes 4 2/3 against the Giants back in June, gives up 5 runs, had that horrendous start in Milwaukee where he doesn't even get out of the first inning. Last night, he gives up 6 earned in 4 2/3 innings. So, I mean, right now with Yamamoto, it seems to be either he goes out and he deals and he gives you, 1 run over 7, the way he did against the Reds, or he gives you, shutout for 5 2/3 against the Rays, or he gives you these blow-up games like we saw against the Brewers and the Angels last night. There seems to be very little in between. I think it was frustrating last night because he actually had the extra day of rest. They flip-flopped him with Glass now in the rotation to try to get him one more day of rest, hoping it would help. And at least this time around, it didn't help at all. I assume maybe part of the reason that they punted last night, Greg, is because Sheehan is going today.
Right.
And and Shohei is going on Wednesday, and I guess the assumption is they knew they were going to have to use bullpen arms, so why not let Diaz, Dreyer just try to work some things out? Maybe, I don't know. I'm reaching here.
Yeah, that's pretty. Look, it's the best that we can possibly come up with. But Yamamoto is very much that guy that if he doesn't get that first pitch strike, that he gets the batters lay off because he's a little bit effectively wild. He's not going to hit the strike zone. When he hits that first pitch strike that Neto just tore apart, like that's when he's going to be on, because then he can use the fastball to offset his split and the splitter and the slider that can then be dropped in below. But he wasn't getting any of the low pitches. So if you're a pitcher like Yamamoto that throws that splitter slider that's below the zone, if you're not getting the calls down there, you're going to be terrible. It's just not going to be a good day for him.
You talk about Neto hitting the first pitch that he threw out. I mean, don't forget, Shawano took the very next pitch and hit it to the wall in left center field. I mean, so they apparently were, I guess that seemed to be the note that was passed around the Angel clubhouse, like jump on the first pitch. If you get first pitch fastball, go get it. And, they got one run and hit another one about as far as you can without leaving the ballpark within the first two pitches that he threw. All right, let's at least talk about something good. Another 2 hits for Mookie Betts. Parker, you look over the last handful of games now. What is it? His last 6 games, hitting .423. The OPS is over 1,000. 5 RBIs, had the home run a couple days ago. So I feel like we can feel good about Mookie. And I feel like we are at a point now we can feel good about the top 5 guys in the batting order. I mean, Shohei's hitting for power. Mookie, Freddie, we know is going to be fine. Will Smith had a couple of hits last night. Muncy's hitting the ball well. So it does feel like the top 5 in the batting order are in a good spot right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. Besides, listen, last night, throwaway game, however we want to put it. Mookie, 6 runs scored as well in the last 5 games. I think that's what's big, is that he's getting on base and he's moving around the bases. He's actually he had a steal. I think it was maybe a couple steals. He's just looking like Mookie Betts of old ever since he's said his season's thrown away. You don't like to hear that, but then when you realize, okay, how he's approaching it, he's doing it so that the team can win. He just wants to get little things done so that the team can win. And honestly, he should have been taking that approach the entire season. I understand that maybe he's looking at this as like a stain on his career in terms of numbers. But Mookie, it's okay, man. We're not going to judge you. We're always going to think of you.
Oh, yeah, we are. What do you mean? Of course we're going to judge him. That's the whole point of the Blue Review.
Fair. I still, Mookie, no matter what, Parker Bell, he's got your back. He still thinks of you as that MVP. And I mean, it's going to be good on Mookie Betts' end. This is going to be, I mentioned it, this is August. It's going to be Mookie and Shohei's month. And so far, they've been doing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The guys at the top are generally hitting. Will Smith went through a little bit of a slump, but, considering how good he's been all year long, that is sort of to be expected. But I had a couple of hits last night. We've seen Freddie turn things around. And so, that part of the order seems to be going well. The bottom part of the order, once again, is not doing its part. I see a lot of chatter about Conforto in the chat right now.
Is it Jeff Spiegel? Is he talking him up still?
No, it's not a lot of positives. Not a lot of positives. I mean, unless you're Mr. Classic, he seems to be enjoying all the Conforto chatter. But you mentioned yesterday, was it Clint, Greg, that Conforto sort of fooled us, lulled us into a false sense of security.
It was Clint, yeah.
With those couple of weeks leading up to the All-Star, or to the trading deadline rather. Since then, he looks like the Conforto that we saw from April through early July. What do they do with him? Because you're not going to DFA him.
No.
You've got too much money invested in him. Nobody, even if you could somehow pull off a post waiver deal, like nobody's gonna want him. But you can't
I don't
play
think
him
you. I
every
don't think you
day.
can even do. You can't. I don't think you can do
Or is
waiver
is
deals
that
anymore.
over? Is that
That's
over
over.
now?
Yeah, that
That's how
ended a
old I
couple
am.
of. Yeah, no, I love that. That was how you actually got guys. I think
Right.
didn't we get what's his name? Didn't we get Manny off
Yeah, I think
that
so.
way?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
because basically the Red Sox were done with it. They'd had
right.
enough.
Right. Yeah, that's long gone now. So yeah, there's nothing you can do with Conforto, and that's kind of what the problem is, that he did play decently leading up to the trade deadline, and they're like, oh, he's turned himself around. We can put him in left field every single day, and he'll be just fine. Oh no, we're going to get Alex Call, and Alex Call will be the split for him, so he can go up against lefties. This is just you're putting a band-aid on something that was going to explode at some point, and it did, because he has not been good. He wasn't good last year. He's not been good this year. It's one of the biggest problems that while we were leading up to the trade deadline, it was get an outfielder, get Stephen Kwan, go use some of your draft capital or your minor league capital and go get a guy like Stephen Kwan, because he's going to play every single day. He's going to play well every day, and he's going to be in the lineup for the next 2 years because he's under control for another 2 years. It all made too much sense to go and use some of that stuff, and they didn't because of Michael Conforto. And now what we're seeing in Conforto is a dude that swings and misses at a lot. He just looks at pitches right down the middle, swings at pitches way inside and way outside, hits into double plays, pops balls up. He's just not, and he's not like, he's okay defensively, but he's not a defensive replacement late in games. So if you don't put him if you don't start him, he's not going to come in at all, because he's actually, I'm pretty sure he's something like 0 for 8 or 0 for 9 in pinch hitting situations. So what does he actually do that's good? I'm just tired of him.
Should we see more Justin Dean in the short term?
Give me something. I don't even care at this point. At least he has speed. Like, I don't know. I want to see something, because not Conforto. I've seen 318 at bats of Conforto. I'm done.
Has it been that many? I
looked at it this morning. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wow, has it really been that many? Because remember, like, it was like we're gonna give him like 150 at bats. We're gonna give him 200 at bats. Yeah, 318 at bats.
Dear Lord.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking. I'm checking.
What a night!
I'm sort of. Yeah, go ahead. Because I've sort of. Otherwise, it's just me sighing and groaning.
I do have to address something. So I went viral last night due to the whole Campero situation. Obviously, we wish nothing but a speedy recovery.
Yes, hopefully he's okay. That was
the young
scary.
Player. Yeah. You just saw that force on the cement part of the Angels wall over there when he tried to climb the wall. Two things with that. One, I'm sorry, but Campero, I mean, what are you doing making that play in general? It's tough, man. Muncy pimped that thing, and it was 15 feet past the wall. And while you do want to hustle, in that sense, I think you need to have a little more awareness when it comes to, hey, I'm not getting to that, even if I'm like Stretch Armstrong and I'm 7 feet tall. But secondly, I'm getting a lot of responses, and I just want to let everybody know I'm not an Orange County EMT. Okay, I put in my tweet. I said basically along the lines of like this organization, it's miserable, and we all know it. Artie's miserable. Everybody's miserable in that organization when it comes to just like top to bottom. And I write, no stretcher, and even their splints are cheap. And now I'm getting everybody in my mentions saying, hey, that's all Orange County carries. Well, I just want to say that's not helping your case, guys. I get that it's a temporary mold and it's good for those who do get injured. But it's very weird to see in a professional settings that they don't have a vacuum splint. Again, I'm not an EMT, but just to see that the Angels are using a cart that they couldn't even find. It took 30 minutes just to get the guy onto the cart. My tweet's justified. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, again, you would think being at a major league ballpark, being at an organization, a franchise that costs, if Artie Moreno decided to sell, he would get $1 billion probably back in return. You would think that they would have
upwards of 3, I think, is what they almost sold it for.
Yeah, I mean, you figure they would have facilities for injured players in that. You don't want it, you don't anticipate, but you have to understand that it's a thing that can happen. So Yeah, that was not great last night.
No, all of it, all the way around. To Parker's point, they took forever to get that whole thing done. They didn't. The fact that they couldn't find it, they didn't know where the stretcher was, or the just the vehicle. They didn't know where it was. That's how can you not know where your vehicle is in a ballpark when if something goes wrong, like it did there, that you don't know. Okay, go get the vehicle, bring it out. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's get it out. Like let's get them all tied up and do what we need to do. No, of course not. But the other part of it, to your point, why? Why was he climbing the wall? There's no reason in the world with a 7-1 lead for him to be climbing that wall. And it was just really just to show the coaches like, hey, I'm a rookie. I'm going to go for it no matter what. I don't care. I'm full speed ahead. Go for it at all times. Like they already know that about you, guy. Like
that's why you're here. That's kind of
why you're here. And now you probably lose. I don't know what it was. They were speculating on like could be Achilles or something like that. I don't know what it was. I'm not speculating, but that could now be out for an entire year and screw you for your career almost. Mm-hmm. So that it just like bad decision. That was so weird. I hope he's okay. Like I don't want to get that lost. I do hope that he's okay because that was scary.
Yeah, no, definitely scary. But yeah, just kind of a weird decision. I said before the show, just it felt like eyewash, like he was just trying to make a play for the sake of making a play when there was just nothing there to be done. Like it was okay. Take a couple steps, look back, watch it go. No one's going to give you a hard time about anything like that.
Justin Dean had like a major league effort in his first game. He went for this insane, dive. He went 10 feet in the air, but it's just to his left in center field. It was more of a major league decision. So again, we all wish Campo the speedy recovery and he's okay, but very weird situation all across the board.
Absolutely. All right. So tonight, the Dodgers Angels back in action. Another 6:30 first pitch from Angels Stadium. Emmett Sheehan against Victor Medeiros, Victor Medeiros making just his third start of the year. His 10th career regular season start. He has a career ERA of 8.76. He's got an ERA of 4.5 this year, which means he's going to throw 7 innings of 2-hit baseball with about 8 strikeouts.
Write it down. If he gets that exact
number, I'm going to Vegas, man. What are you talking about? His only appearance, or his last 2 appearances, I should say, one in April against the Twins, where he gave up 2 runs in 3 innings, and one in July against the Rangers, where he went 1 scoreless inning, gave up a walk with 2 strikeouts. So
he's gonna shove.
But Greg, if you want to remind everybody.
That's exactly what I was going to do. I'd remind everybody tomorrow that we are going to be at Clearman's Galley. I know, Marcus, you cannot make it, but Parker, I think you can possibly make it. We're going to be at Clearman's Galley watching the boys in blue and the Angels down there. And so, bring your gear. There's going to be prizes to be won. Ooh. It's all brought to you by Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water, nothing else. And we're going to be out there just chilling and hanging around, watching Shohei Ohtani face his former team. Come on down to Clearman's Galley tomorrow.
Absolutely.
By the way, what else can he do?
We failed to mention that Shohei hit his 100th career home run at Angel Stadium last night.
Yeah.
So nice round number. Of course, Shohei always a flair for the dramatics. So let's see what he has. Hopefully what he has tonight, but also what he has when he's on the mound on Wednesday. So we're back tomorrow with you to talk about whatever happens tonight. Hopefully it is something positive. But in the meantime, Mr. Classic, enjoy your next 24 hours because I'm sure you're going to have a good time with this. Thanks, everybody in the chat, for hanging out with us as always. Thanks to LAX as well. That'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Parker, for Greg, I am Marcus. Stick around. First pitch coming up with Travis and DeMarco and Bergman. Back with you tomorrow, 8:30 to 8:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. That's it.
See ya.